Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 767 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome back everybody. Yeah, school's out for the summer. Good morning everybody, welcome back. This is episode 767 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back. Yeah. Michael, today is the day. It has the last day of school vibes.
Yes, it does.
Of course, we start our vacation, Mike. A whole week where you and I won't talk sports. It's going to be insane. You would think that this would be some kind of a break, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who I'm going to talk sports with. I don't know if it's going to be an interesting vacation. Time away from things that you do tend to be difficult sometimes.
I need the break. Well, it's just because that job is like first thing in the morning, then leads right into this, and it just like with no real actual football, it becomes not a drag, but you know what I mean. It's like there's no football on the weekends to distract me from life, so it just all rolls into one. It is hot at work right now, so I need the break. I guarantee you by Wednesday I'm going to be annoyed that I'm not talking sports.
Well, it is hot. No two ways about that. I was trying to get some things done here at the studio before we went on today. I got a couple little extra things we're going to do. It's going to be fun. It's a fun day. Like the last day of school, you know how you knew it wasn't going to be no work. There was not going to be anything difficult, anything stressful. So I was getting some things ready here at the studio, and I'm sweating my face. I have all kind of sweat just pouring off me.
Glistening.
I'm glistening today, guys. By the end of this show, we may not have any shirts on, so just a fair warning to you on that. But we do want to say to everybody, welcome back.
Got your dollar right here, big boy.
Yeah, you know where to put that. A lot of things going on, though. We do have a lot to talk about heading into the weekend, Mike. I don't want to. I listen. We're gonna have fun, but I don't want to leave anything out. We're gonna make sure we touch on everything today. Heading into the weekend, because there is a lot of things going on in Pittsburgh. So we will be having a lot of fun today. Welcome, everybody. I do want to say good morning to Corey Beavers on the show. Corey says, how's it going, guys? So before we get into sports, I'm starting my podcast soon on Spotify, and I wanted to know if you have any tips for me, recommendations, recording. Absolutely, man. I tell you what, we'll figure something. Mike, we'll figure something out. Make sure you get some kind of contact information for Corey. I want to help him. I want to work with him, and maybe Corey, if you just email us, maybe Mike, is that the best
Yeah, that's a good one.
policy?
And yeah, this email two dumb yinzers at
And that's
gmail.com.
and that's
TWO.
that's TWO.
TWO DUMYINZERS at gmail.com. And right off the top of my head, Corey, good microphone. A good microphone, especially if it's just going to be audio only. Get a good microphone.
So we'll be talking to you, Corey. So either email us if Mike is for whatever reason taking a while and you start to get concerned, maybe we didn't get your email. You could always go over to any of the social media pages that we do have: Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, whatever it may be, and you could always get a hold of us through there. But I think Mike is going to be able to pull through, even though his vacation does start in about an hour. And when Mike's vacation starts, he's like a big bear, and it's hard to really work with him. But
I'm like a European when I'm on vacation. I'll talk to you when I'm back from vacation.
So yes, Corey, we will definitely, brother. Yeah. I look forward to it, man. It's a lot of fun, and I think you're gonna have a blast.
But yeah, just good mic, buddy. Get a good mic.
So we do have some things going on today, Mike. I do want to start by saying, what do I want to start by saying? I don't know what I want to start by saying.
This is how awesome I am.
I want to start by saying what we do start vacation today. We will be gone for a week. With the weekends, it comes out to about 9 days. So July 7, we will be back at our regular time right here. And we might be taller. Mike, you remember when you had summer vacation and you came back and everyone was taller?
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll have a growth spurt in the meantime. You might not even recognize us. But we will be back on July 7 at our July 7 at our regular time right here. We hope everybody has a great summer. But again, we'll get to all the pleasantries and all that kind of fun stuff at the end of the show, because we do have a lot of sports to get into today, guys. Let me start by saying this. If you're interested in the furries, they come to Pittsburgh. They have the biggest, I think, what's it called? Anthrocon. The furries. It's the biggest furry gathering in the country, I think in the world. In Pittsburgh, it's where all those people dressed like animals come and they hang out at the city. For whatever reason, Pittsburgh is the biggest. Mike, if you're into that, there's 19,000 people expected to be in town for the Furry Fest, I guess, if you will. Anthrocon is what it's called. But again, 19,000 is what they're expecting to be here for that. So if you're into that, I know Andrew McCutcheon is.
I was about to say, Kutch is gonna heat up now that the furries are in town.
He loves it.
Weren't they down earlier?
What's that?
Weren't they here earlier in the season, the furries? I swear we talked about this.
Yeah, it's been a year already.
I'm losing my mind.
What else do we got, Mike, before we do get rolling? Vacation. Oh, yeah. Do you have what it takes? Do you have what it takes to be a new dumb Yinzer? I do want to thank the board yesterday for coming up with that, coining that phrase. Do you have what it takes to become a new dumb Yinzer? That's right. When we come back from vacation, we will be starting a campaign right here on the show for the viewers who wants to become a part of the show right here where we are. You can have a box right beneath Mike. I know what he eats, and I feel for you being right underneath of him. But nonetheless, we are putting this together. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that everybody's going to enjoy it. And as I said, if anybody is interested, whatever kind of availability you have is fine. We're just looking to add. We're growing this year. We are hitting the 4-year mark while we are on vacation as well, Mike. So we're looking to grow in a few areas, and that is going to be something that we're going to do. It's a lot of fun right after break, guys. Do you have what it takes to be a new dumb Yinzer? And it's going to be fun. I have an idea how we're going to do this, and I think people are going to like it. So if you are interested, in the meantime, you are getting a pre idea of what it is we're doing. Don't hesitate. You could get a hold of us and submit yourself in any way, all the way up until. But again, you guys have the head start. This is before we even put on social media, anything like this. So if you are interested, let us know. We will certainly have jot your name down in the meantime. But when we come back, it is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to be rolling out the Who Wants to Be a New Dumb Yinzer campaign right here on the show. It's going to be a blast. Today, Mike, I'm going to take random stops throughout the show because earlier in the week, somebody asked about these beer cans back here.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do today, We're going to have a little show and tell as well. I'm going to take random stops throughout the show and show you some things that were left behind, because these are things that were left behind by people that we had in studio early on.
Back in the day,
when everything we did was in studio. So I'm going to take some random stops throughout the show to give you a little show and tell of some things. I think, again, this is the last day of summer. This for us, it's the last day of school. Guys, it's going to be fun. It's going to be lax. We're going to go over what we're going to go over. We got some Steelers scoop. We got other Pittsburgh sports. So hang around, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 767, the day that starts the vacation.
Yes.
For the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, let's get into it.
Let's do this.
Big scoop. Now, this is a big... guys, let me just say this. Double O, Mike does have a puppet of himself. I don't know which one is the dummy most of the time, but it is true. There is one dummy in Mike's picture. Good luck trying to figure that out. And Richard, always glad to see you. Corey 007. Richard does have a face for radio, is what he's saying.
So do I.
So Richard, you could very well be the new Dumb Yinzer. So guys, think that over again. If you want to submit yourself in the meantime, do so at our email address, twodumbYinzers@gmail.com. That's TWO dumbYinzers at gmail.com. But again, it will officially start after vacation.
Any photos that you send as attachments go directly to Ryan. I won't look at them, but Ryan will.
That's right. Also, let's get into it, Mike. The real big scoop is in Pittsburgh isn't the Steelers today. It isn't even the Passion, which is a big story. But if you are at all into the NBA, even if you're not, you're going to find what I have to say very interesting. Last night in the NBA draft, of course, number 1 overall was Cooper Flag. No surprises there.
No surprise.
Dallas Mavericks get their guy. Excuse me. But the guy that I was most interested in went 36 overall, who is a second-round pick. He got drafted by the Brooklyn Nets and then went to the Lakers on a move. Adu Thero out of Quaker Valley, which is about 15 minutes down the river here. He was a state champion. He went on to play under John Calipari in Kentucky and then transferred to Arkansas. And he did get he got drafted in the second round. He was saying they were saying either first or second round, but he did get drafted 36 overall. He's now with the Lakers. So good luck to Adu. Very good family. And I got to be honest, I know them personally. My oldest son, who was pretty good at basketball, he played in the same travel league as Adu. And the thing about Adu, he was about 6 years younger, but his dad had him playing with the high school team.
That's when you know you're good.
That's when you know you're good. And he was roughly in fourth grade. I mean, like whatever it was, he was a kid.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Adu Thero. You'll be seeing him in the Laker yellow and gold, purple and gold. As that's your team, Mike, in the NBA. Congratulations. It couldn't happen to a nicer family. It really couldn't have. Coach Al, his dad, his mom. His dad was 6'10", blew out his knee in Memphis in college and effed up his NBA career. And mom, she was playing in the WNBA for a while, and she's about 6'8".
Damn.
So Adu has the size. Hopefully he can stay healthy and have a good career. Good. He really is a good kid. I'm not just saying that. These people are really good people. Good luck to them. I'm happy for them, and I'm looking forward to seeing them on TV.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Someone from really close making it to the NBA again. That's awesome.
Mike, on the flip side of that, we do have a draft again today, the NFL draft. Mike, I know
NHL.
That's what I said.
You said NFL.
Yeah, you know what I said. You know what I meant. But the NHL draft is your cup of tea, Mike. Of course, the draft starts tonight at 7:00 p.m., just like its sister league, the same weekend, same week.
Yep.
The NHL draft, 7:00 p.m. on ESPN tonight. Round 1, the Pittsburgh Penguins have pick number 11 and pick number 12.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a little bit difficult to get into hockey drafts, but nonetheless, it is the future of the team. And we talk future of hockey. I mean, it's future. You're probably going to see these guys in 7-8 years.
Probably, like, ideally, with picking 11 and 12, 2-3 years, you'll see these guys.
Yeah.
Unless they make a major move up using those two, and
there's such a development
draft
process.
to get up. Yeah, like there's like next year's draft is the year to have the 2 first-round picks. This year, there's talks about a couple guys sliding down the draft for some unknown reasons that were projected top 5. So if one of those starts to fall out, I wouldn't be surprised if Shiro makes a move.
So we're going to be paying attention to that, Mike. Of course,
Shiro. Oh my God, Kyle Dubas. I don't know why.
Oh,
Ray
yeah.
Shiro. I went way back. R.I.P. Ray Shiro.
So there you go, guys. The NHL draft day. We'll be paying close attention to that to see who it is that's going to be joining the Pittsburgh Penguins in the future. A few other things that are going on, Mike, in Pittsburgh. Before we do really get rolling, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they are hosting Westchester tomorrow. Of course, our soccer team, our pro soccer team here in the Berg. The game starts at 7:00 p.m. That's tomorrow. In their female counterparts, the Pittsburgh Riveters, in their inaugural season, the Gals, they will be hosting Steel City, which is actually another team different than the Riveters. This is the last home game of the season for the Riveters, Mike. They play today. That's today at 7:00 p.m. And also, if you want to watch that, it will be on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. So you can check that out. Let me grab a couple of these messages on the board just so we don't get too far behind. Phil the Steel, my man, welcome back to the show. As always, good morning to Yinzers and all Psycho Yinzers. Here we go. Corey says, "Don't worry, Mike. I won't bother you on vacation."
No, Corey.
Yeah, by all means, bother him. I beg you, please.
I'm literally doing nothing on vacation.
Corey says, "Richard will I have a voice Helen Keller would love." Phil says, "Question, fellas, the new 2 Yinzer contract. What are the terms and salary?" Well, you're going to be making the big TJ Watt money.
You see this dollar right here? It's all yours.
And I tell you what, we will get into all those fun stuff in detail. And in the meantime, like I said, if you want to add your name to the hat in the meantime as an early submission, that's fine. But it's officially not going to start. We are still ironing out all the details, which we will get into after the break. If you do throw your name in the hat in the meantime, you're not obligated or locked in. If you change your mind or whatever the case may be, we'll certainly work with you. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun thing, guys.
You have to play table tennis.
Again, we are going to have a lot of fun. Looking to add a wheel. Mike, who knows? The way this goes out, we might add a few wheels. Who knows? This is going to be crazy. But nonetheless, do you have what it takes to become a new Dumb Yinzer? It does kick off officially on July 7th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mike, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of fun. And just remember, Phil, table tennis, buddy. Table tennis.
We're gonna have to track down Brian if we could if Phil is here. Guys, let me also get into a few other things. The Fever, they lose last night without Caitlin Clark. She was with her groin. Fever fall 85-75 to the LA Sparks. Mike, they fall to 7-8. They are back at it tonight against the Dallas Wings. One of my favorite female sports team names, the Wings. How can you not love the Wings for a girls team?
How could you not? It's they did it on purpose.
You have to. I mean, come on. Even if you bring it up, 50 people are going to tell you how crazy it is.
Either that, or it's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm situation. They came up with it, and no one thought to means test it.
You're right.
And everyone's like, "Why? What's wrong? What's so wrong about it?"
The Wings, yes. So I liked in the women's football. I liked the Cougars, the Cincinnati Cougars. I thought was cool, but the Dallas Wings is my favorite. Until somebody tops that with I don't know, Vag Lips or something. I'm gonna
Vag Lips. Wow,
the West Virginia Vag Lips.
That escalated quickly.
I will be a fan of the Wings until that happens, Mike. Let me see, what else do we got? Fever. Hounds, Riveters, Pittsburgh Passion, guys. The big playoffs, first round tomorrow at West Allegheny High School. If you are following the Gals or you want to get out and just have a good time on this this weekend before the 4th of July comes around, Mike, the Gals, they will be playing tomorrow. They'll be facing the Mile High Blaze in the first round of the playoffs. That's a 6:00 p.m. game. It is at West Allegheny High School, not at Slippery Rock College. It will be at West Allegheny. Go have a good time. Support the Gals. I think they have a really good shot this year. Mike, the Pittsburgh Passion hosting the Mile High Blaze tomorrow, 6:00. It will be on YouTube if you want to follow it there as well.
Another great name, by the way. The Mile High Blaze.
The Mile High Blaze. How do you like that?
I love it.
Also, they listed they got their all-stars named in the league. I'm going to go through that a little bit later on. A lot of gals from the Pittsburgh team on the
list. There should be.
No two ways about it. Let me grab a couple of these messages on the board. Corey says the qualifications will include willingness to rock a skullet, can't be overly sensitive, have to do a good derpy in person. Yes. And you have to completely be neglectful of safety. Yes. Yeah. Corey,
he's getting it. Corey's getting it.
Does he have a copy of the policy?
He maybe he was hacking your email.
Let's see, Mike. I have an idea. I think that is everything heading into football. One more thing here real quick, and then we'll start with something fun here. The Pirates and the Mets start a series for this weekend, Mike. They have a 3-game set. Game 1 is today at 6:40. Pirates come with a 32-50 record. The Mets with a 48-34 record. They play 3 games all through the weekend. Today, 6:30. Tomorrow, 4:05. Sunday, 1:35. Mitch Keller will be on the hill today with his pathetic record of 1-10, a 4.02 ERA, and 73 strikeouts on the season. He'll be facing David Peterson. And then the rest of the weekend, you can see Bailey Falter and Mike Burrows as they conclude the series against the Mets this coming Sunday.
Let's go, Bucks.
One quick note, Mike. Shelton, let's see, he was 12-16, a 31% winning percentage. Kelly, since he's taken his play, they were on pace to finish with 51 wins under Shelton. Since Kelly's been in, Mike, they've been 20-24 with a 45% winning percentage opposed to Shelton's 31%, and they're on pace for 74 wins under Kelly. Fellas, a date with Peaches. Yeah, you know what? Maybe that is, Mike. There's some ideas for along the way.
I like that one.
It's gonna be a process. We're gonna have fun with it.
Peaches is down for anything.
She's down for anything. Believe me. She's DTFA. I don't know. Mike, let's start off by having a little bit of fun. Mike Scarlett, always a fun topic on the show. Mike, why don't you bless us with a little bit of your song, and then we will get into business.
Oh, yeah.
With a shiny bull crown, a Fu Manchu, that's the talk of the town. He's strutting in a Speedo, showing off his tan, the proudest skullet in all of the land. Oh, Mike Skullet shining brighter than the sun. Speedo's hugging tight like he's ready to run. Nemesis Derby's out there shaking his fists, but Mike's just laughing cause he don't give a rip. He co-hosts Yinzers with flair and delight, knows every punchline, he's sharp as a bite. Derpy keeps scheming, trying to steal his spot, but Mike and his skullet, they just can't be caught. Oh, Mike's skullet shining brighter than the sun. Speedo's hugging tight like he's ready to run. Nemesis Derby's out there shaking his fists, but Mike's just laughing cause he don't give a rip. Down at the pool, he's a sight to behold. Skullet's a trophy worth more than gold. With the cannonball splash, he's making big waves, living life his way, no need to behave. Derpy keeps trying, but he can't compete. Mike and his Speedos, he's got that beat. From his podcast chair to the diving board's height, there's no stopping Mike, he's the king of the night. The pool, he's a sight to behold. Skullet's a trophy worth more than gold. With the cannonball splash, he's making big waves, living life his way, no need to behave. Derpy keeps trying, but he can't compete. Mike in his Speedos, he's got that beat. From his podcast chair to the diving board's height, there's no stopping Mike. He's the king of the night.
There you go, everybody. That is from the Tudum Yinzers House AI band. That is Mike Scarlett shining brighter than the sun. You know what? One of my favorite lines in that is when it says you got your Speedos, or what's it say? Your Speedos are tight like you're ready to run.
Yeah, ready to run, ready to run. As I take 2 steps, my knee blows out. I blow out both hammies.
I remember that time you was going reverse in your car and you pulled something. Remember that?
I remember the last time I ran. I want to say it was
the 90s.
No, 2 years ago. May have been abiding a lot of alcohol. My kid wanted to play outside, and we were running around the yard. And the truck was parked in the way, and I kept dipping down to get speed around the corner. I felt like I was doing like those code drills at the combine. I was feeling good. I woke up the next morning, both knees and ankles were swollen and shot. So yeah, running is not worth it.
Running's not your thing.
It's not my thing anymore. No. Maybe 30 years ago.
Joe Dilly, what's up, my man? He says, "What's up, Yinzers?
What up?
What up, brother? Always great to see you on the board." Corey says, I love the Zach Brown band." 007 says, "Mike wears Speedos. He looks like a commando type." Yeah, he does. I switch it up. You know, day like today, it's a commando day. Joe, what's up, my man? Yinzer Joe on the board. Always great seeing you, my friend. Always great seeing you on the board, sir. Corey says 007. Yeah, he's very aerodynamic like that. That is one word that I would never, ever thought that I would ever heard to describe Mike. Aerodynamic. But there you go. Mark Malone, my man. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Mr. Malone on the board. Mark says, man, if Mike was dedicated, he could be wearing a clip-on mullet by now. Guys.
I know.
Well, yeah,
I failed. I reversed the curse of Renegade, so I was allowed to shave off the beginnings of the skull.
To be fair, he's mentioned this clip-on mullet, and I don't know if listen, this is something we're going to look into in the break, Mike. We're going to figure this out, and maybe
listen.
We're going to get this all. We're going to get this all ironed out. Don't you worry about it. Let's get into some Steeler talk. Let's get into some NFL talk first of all, guys. Justin Tucker, the former Baltimore Raven kicker, possibly one of the best kickers of all time, gets a 10-week suspension, guys, for him violating the league's personal conduct policy. What are these guys doing that's wrong, Mike?
Wasn't he sexually assaulting women?
Was it sexual assault? Because everyone, all these conversations always go back to these massages. I don't think that getting massages is a.
No, it's what he's doing to the women during the massage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was wondering what you're looking at. And
Did you see that?
I saw the moth.
I think it's. I don't know what it is, but he's attracted to this light, whatever it is. About 5 minutes before the show, I'm shooing him. I'm shooting him the whole time, you know. And he just keeps coming around there.
I look at you're all. I thought you got all high all of a sudden. You're like,
so he was sexually. I mean, what was he? Was he raping women? I don't think I understand what this is.
Grabbing their hands and putting them on his junk. I don't know. But yeah, but he's gone for 10 games.
10 games.
He's a free agent too.
So there you go, guys. I mean, it's certainly not going to be anything we're going to have to worry about anytime in the near future for the Ravens anymore. But there you have it, guys. Justin Tucker, 10 weeks for violating the league. I think, isn't that like, is that a crime? Like, is he in trouble legally?
I think they are suing him.
Because I would think if it's not something that's legal, I don't. Again,
you can do stuff that's legal, and if like your company or employer has it in your contract, hey,
which I understand. You to do that.
So that's
my argument. Like I give you that. That believe me, with politics and platforms, I believe me, I stand. Solid. But again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand what these guys are doing. I mean, they're not raping. I mean, which would obviously be the big story, and you would know.
Yeah.
I think that's what obviously a big problem.
Yeah. I could see him exposing himself, saying, "Hey,
Is that what's going on? Justin Tucker is running around exposing himself?
Probably.
I'd like to know more about this.
You have to get, like, there's ones that are for that, and there are ones that are for getting your actual massage to get your body right. All he has to do is call up Robert Kraft, and he'll let him know which ones to go to.
5 million Chinese people on this planet. You find the one that's going to charge you.
Forced happy endings. It's not something to laugh about, but it made me laugh.
Or press charges against you. What a weird. I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mark Malone, they are a thing. That definitely. You know what? I'm on top of this. This one's my job. I'm going to make sure Mike gets his clip on Scarlet by the time we get back. Season 4, or I'm sorry, year 4 is going to go off with a bang, Mike. As we come back from break, the clip on Scarlet. That's my responsibility now. Corey says my mom always said to keep my hands to myself, so I started doing it to myself. Tucker needed more of mom's at that, right? I set records in that department. Richard says forced happy ending. Maybe that's what I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't. Maybe I don't get it. It seems like if it was serious enough, it should be more talked about. It should be a big league-wide news all the time. But it's not. It's just kind of a thing that happened. They're going to suspend him for 10 games, and it is what it is. And I get that. Believe me. Don't get me wrong. I understand the policy of the league. I'm just having a hard time understanding in its entirety what exactly is happening with these guys. Mark Malone says check out the headband mullets. Oh, that's a good idea, Mike. A headband mullet. Listen, that's a two-prong thing because it could give you a mullet and keep the glare from your head from blinding all the viewers.
I found one. I found one that I'm going to get. Can I share it with the group?
Yeah, please do. Please do that. Oh, for fuck's sake, please. Oh, please. That's way better than what I was even imagining. Please.
Yeah.
How much does that thing cost?
It's probably like $20.
All right,
getting that thing.
That's what I want to look at every day. Yinzer Joe says indecent behavior, rather verbally or physical, is against the NFL policy. And it's so weird because pro football players, you go out and you hang out with chicks all the time, and you got loads of money, and these guys get on the hangout spots when they travel in different cities. Yeah, something is bound to happen. It's kind of sucks, man. You're basically going against somebody's accusation, and again, if it's not true, that's a pretty effed up thing. Mark Malone says I'm betting they claim to have a cramp in their schlongs. Maybe.
Again, call up Robert Kraft. He has them on his Rolodex. He knows where they're at.
007 says 4 therapists said they found what appeared to be ejaculate on the sheet after Tucker left.
Like, no, motherfucker, get back here. You taking that sheet with you? Get the fuck out of my.
What if you're laying on your stomach and you get a little excited when they're getting the top of your hammies or something? I don't know. I might release. And now I'm a bad guy for releasing all over the bed. I mean, come on.
Yeah. This isn't a peep show booth.
Yeah, but still, I mean, can you help yourself? Mike Mark Below is perfect. I like it a lot. I think that's the one we're gonna go with, Mike. I think
so too. I've been looking at this one for a while now. I was like, you know what, that's gonna be perfect.
Vegas, my man, always great to see Vegas on the board, sir. Great to see you heading into this fine weekend. Just the weekend prior to July 4. And Mike, and I'm sorry, Richard enjoys it as well, Mike. I think everybody's going to enjoy it. So we're hard at work on this. Corey says he needed physical therapy. He was having a hard time.
Jesus Christ.
Vegas, you have to be Robert Kraft's age to have a Rolodex still. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Did you say Rolodex, Mike?
Rolodex, baby.
I'm docking you. I'm docking your pay. Why would you even say Rolodex?
I know, right?
25. That's insane to me.
Shut up. That's a valid word.
All right, shush. Mike, the PFF, we love the PFF sometimes when they're in our favor.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We hate the PFF a lot of other times, Mike. The PFF says that the Eagles have the best linebacker unit in the NFL. I think that Pittsburgh Steelers team got a pretty good linebacker unit themselves. I don't want to say it's better than Philadelphia because, of course, Philadelphia is doing big things right now. But we have the best defense in the league, according to the PFF, Mike, and the Eagles. The Eagles, number one in the linebackers core. Again, Mike, if you have a nice season by Patrick Queen, like I hope you said, like he's saying that he's going to have this year, he felt a little, he let us down a little bit last season.
Yeah.
Plus, if Watt gets his contract, Mike, we better see Monster Watt this season, which if those two things happen, I think that bumps us up and it should have us pretty close to what the Eagles got going on. Don't get me wrong. I understand they're doing big things and they got, but Mike, again, you get Monster Watt that you get on contract years and you get Patrick Queen that, again, who he says that he can be and what he was in the past. We got a pretty damn good linebacker core, Mike. A lot of these younger guys, these speedsters, the Wilsons, the Herbigs, the guys like this. It's our linebacking core, Mike. I'm more excited to watch these guys than Philadelphia, to be honest.
Me too. I want to see what Peyton Wilson can do in year two. Reports are that he's coming in heavier, stronger wise, not just adding weight, but adding good muscle, and it's still being as fast as he is. That's going to be even better for him. Your buddy Cole Holcomb coming back for 3 games. We'll see. We'll get,
and if
get 3 games.
Stay healthy, that's even better.
And then Malik Harrison, who's coming in to replace Landon Roberts as the run stuffer. So I always
forget about Malik Harris.
Yeah. So I like the depth there. It's a very good, especially that inside group is really strong. And like you said, you got Highsmith, Herbig, TJ Watt, and let's see what the young dude Jack Sawyer, what can he bring this year?
And Jack Sawyer, the list goes on. It really does, Mike, and that's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, the PFF is stupid. They count, our outside linebackers
as defensive line,
as edge rushers. They're part of the D line. Like, do you actually watch the Steelers? Yeah, we run, nickel, but those guys also drop back into coverage.
PFF can be disappointing sometimes.
Yeah, I just hate how everything's out. He's an edge. He's an outside fucking linebacker.
Yinzer Joe, you see what happened to Big Ben. Sometimes women are just looking to give. I would think more often than not. I look around you. Look. I mean, come on. We are all on the internet. We see how people are. Of course, people are going to go after these guys. Of course they are. Of course they are. It is what it is. It's unfortunate that you think a lady is into you, but turns it all around. Yinzer Joe, I couldn't agree more. I mean, look at me. Come on.
The woman.
Every so often, when a woman shows interest in me, I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to act. Is it real? Should I act on it? And again, I don't want to be charged. Of course, I don't have the money.
You're 100 air, man.
Yeah. They're coming after a real 100 air with me. But come on, it's a problem. That's why I think that these women, and it is, the hammer should be brought down on people for falsely accusing people of stuff.
If it, it's got to swing both ways.
Absolutely.
You find out, the guys really did the thing, you got to give them the book. You find out they don't, you got to give the accuser the book. It's just how it has to be.
I couldn't agree with you more, though, Kenneth. Kenneth, my man, great to see you on the board. If I haven't said good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon, I guess, if you will. He says, Cole Holcomb, if he's fine, we'll have the best locker room. And I agree, because if Cole Holcomb can stay healthy, these are a lot of ifs, though. Cole Holcomb stay healthy. TJ has that monster contract season. Patrick Queen has the season that he tells us that he wants to have. Some of these other guys, this clan of it always reminds me of the Eminem video where there was all those white guys on that conveyor belt,
right?
And it's just moving along, and they're in their boxers. I mean, come on, the names you just mentioned, Sawyer, Peyton Wilson, Nick Herbig, these guys all have the same makeup. It's a matter of fact, it's the same makeup that made Bill Belichick's wide receiver room for many years. These Wes Welkers and the Danny Amendolos and the Julian Edelman. It was the same guy. Same makeup, same skill set. It's just these M&Ms going across that conveyor belt. And that's what I think about these linebackers. Like they're all very similar in appearance.
Yeah.
But you know what? It reminds me of Dallas a few years back when they had that guy from Pittsburgh. What was his name? From Penn State?
Puzzlesny back in the day?
No, not Puzzlesny, you jerk. The guy, he went to Penn State from Pittsburgh. He was the Dallas Cowboy linebacker, white guy.
The other one, the other
we've had this
guy.
conversation before, so I know you know who it is.
Not Puslesny, but my God, I know.
Yeah, the other guy.
Yeah, the other white guy. Yeah,
but it reminds me of that. Remember Dallas had that team, and like they had all these white linebackers all of a sudden. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want some brothers in there, to be honest with you. I need speed. I need speed and hard hitters, but it worked. If you have the right group of these guys, I guess it's a good thing. And as I said, Mike, I could see Nick Herbig and Peyton Wilson and now Sawyer. They could all do big things in this defense, especially with the combination of your Highsmiths, your Queens, your TJ Watts, things like this. So I'm not going to disagree. I think we have one of the better linebacker cores in the league. Is that who it is? I don't know. Why is that name kind of coming to me? Conlon? That doesn't seem. I mean, he may have been on that team, but who am I thinking?
I don't think it was Shane Conlon. No,
it was another guy. Oh.
What the fuck was?
And as soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's exactly who it is. He went to Upper St. Clair or something.
Yeah,
one of these Pittsburgh schools.
I gotta.
Yeah, please look that up. I lose my mind. Let's see. Yinzer Joe. Let me go right here to Corey. Corey says what? Corey says this is what happens when only fans take a dive. Joe, I tell you what, Mike gets that wig. I'm going to have to ask him out. You know what? You're going to be fighting people off. Believe me. You and the group of men around you are going to be beating each other off with a stick, right? Mike, what's the guy's name, please?
Sean Lee.
Sean Lee.
He was always hurt. He would play well for he'd have 2 good years and then hurt. 2 good years and then hurt.
Maybe that's who Mark's saying on the board. He says always broke his arm. Sean Lee.
Sean Lee, Leighton Vander Esch. He was another one of those white linebackers.
But that's the era that I'm talking about. Remember, I remember always saying, I'm like, well, who wants all these white guys on your defense? I want speed. I need speed.
Well, Wilson has speed.
But these guys, and they do. That's what I'm trying to make that point. And that's what I'm saying. I'm satisfied. Again, never in my life I would have said, "Hey, give me all white linebackers." But when it works,
this new breed, man, this new breed of white linebackers, they got some speed, man.
Well, now that Belichick isn't using the mold machine up there in New England, we get to use it here, so we're using it on defense. The dude, but you know what? And the fact that Mark keeps saying he did break his arm multiple times, so did Puslesny. Puslesny was also.
They were the same way.
They did.
And it's not like they were small linebackers either.
No. And Puslesny, Mike, he is just from right across the road here. As a matter of fact, same high school that Tony Dorsett went to. And he could have very well been in the Aliquippa School District with Darrell Rivas, Ty Law, Mike Ditka, Sean Gilbert, all them guys, but they are just on the borderline of one another if you're not from the area here. But Paul Puslesny did go to the same high school.
Beast.
That Tony Dorsett went to. So a lot of good talent, of course, here in the Valley. No two ways about that, guys. What else do we got to go over here, Mike? You know what? Let's take a break. This is time for show and tell, guys. I was asked last week, what these cans? Why don't I drink these cans of beer, guys? Excuse me. We did collect early on in the show. We would always be in studio. Everything was together. Mike and I were looking at each other face to face. It was one of the most disturbing periods of time I've ever went through. But we did have guests that would come into the show in the first season. And let me give you some show and tell because, again, we were asked about these cans. They are empty. These 2 particular cans right here, Mike, these were from rappers that we had earlier in the show. They came in. They were heavily intoxicated every time.
Great guests.
They were very great guests.
Good guys.
Let me extend that a little bit and show you something here.
Oh, God.
And
this
was something they left behind as well. So it just kind of gives you an idea. It was a lot of fun in season 1. Mike, there was more of these. I just couldn't find them. But these are some of the things that I do want to show for today's show and tell. It's the last day of school, if you will. We will be heading into our summer vacation after today. But, Mike, I have fond memories of some of these things that were left behind by some guests. We'll get into some more. Some more as the show goes on, guys. I do have some really cool stuff over here we will get into. But, guys, let's get into a little bit on the NFL. Mike, they're saying this is the biggest quarterback prospect ever coming out of next year's draft, possibly with Arch Manning. Of course, we don't know if he's coming out next year, but they're calling him the biggest quarterback prospect ever coming into the NFL. Mike, I think that there's nothing that should stop the Pittsburgh Steelers from getting this kid if he comes out next year. I say you have to run somebody over in a car, kill somebody's firstborn, whatever it is, do it. But if you pass up and you screw up getting the best quarterback prospect ever, now let's just say it works out. We're not going to say he's a bust. Let's just say this ends up being really good for him. Mike, is that going to be one of the biggest blunders amongst a lot of teams, not just the Steelers?
Yeah.
They are unable to pull him. And I'm not talking about teams that finish 30, get the 32nd. They're not going to get him. But let's just say the Steelers are in a position to get the biggest quarterback prospect ever coming out of college with Arch Manning. How big of a blunder is that? And will the fans hate what the organization did by not getting him? Or will they say, well, you know what? We have our backup. We have Will Howard, and we could also pick somebody else up, maybe this kid from South. Mike, is this a blunder if you're unable to land him while you're in a position to get him?
There'll be factors involved in it. Like if he comes out and shows this year at Texas that, there's the reason why the hype. If he lives up to the hype in college and puts out amazing film and you see the potential there, like, oh my God, you can see where he's going to keep growing and develop into that elite quarterback to be like a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, Andrew Luck before he was injured. Drew Brees.
He goes on has a huge career.
He has to live up to that.
Is this going to be Dan Marino 2.0 was basically what I'm saying.
The one who got away.
Like, if it is, we're going to hear about it for the next 40 years.
Yeah, every fan base who had an opportunity to miss out on him will, and if he shows,
we already have one that got away.
Yeah, we don't need two who got away, but if he shows, and he is that far head and shoulders above everyone else in that draft class, you got to do what you got to do to go get him.
I agree.
You have to do it. You have to. Now it all depends on who's going to sit there at that first overall pick.
I would sell Cam.
Now, if it's a team who already has
Mike, I would sell Cam Hayward's soul to get him.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd sell Cam, TJ, Minka, just about anyone on that defense.
Well, you can't give everyone's soul away. I'm just, we're talking about selling a soul. We can only give up one soul.
I'm selling them all. But no, if he's that far ahead, when we watch the games, we break down the film and everything, he is that guy. That far head and shoulders above, you do what you have to do. But it all depends on who has that first pick. It's a team who just had a bad year because the team around the quarterback played bad, and they're not going to want to give, draft a quarterback. Okay, that team's going to look for a king's ransom to get this guy. Pittsburgh has to be willing to, bite the bullet and give away whatever that team wants to go get him. But now, if there's a team there who needs him, you're screwed. You're shit out of luck. You're fucked. That team's going to draft that quarterback. There's nothing you can do. Then it's on you to go and get.
I think the
second best quarterback in the draft.
I think this is going to be a Dan Marino situation. I think if the Steelers don't get him, we're going to be talking about this. And here's the thing. Let's just say he is a bust. Okay, he's a bust.
You tried.
And you tried. You went after the best prospect ever coming out of the college to go into the NFL. If you go after that and you fail, you can't blame you. You can't. Yeah. You can't say, this guy was not what he turned out to be. I think we've drafted worse. We've drafted quarterbacks that, we thought was going to be the guy, and obviously wasn't even. He's not even a backup in Philadelphia. So again, I think this is big. And again, the Manning name is going to be in the NFL for a long time. Yeah. As long as uncles are involved, as long as this just seems to me, if you miss. This is a can't miss. We've been through the Dan Marino thing. I feel that this is the only thing difference is he's not from here where Dan Marino was. Yeah. That's the only difference, Mike. But I think that this is a big whiff if you have that opportunity and you decide not to go with him.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to get him and you pass on him and he showed that, he can be the guy, I'll be hard on the team. But now if he goes out there and has a mediocre year, has an average combine, and then now you're just going on the hype of the name, I would be like, okay, I understand why you want to pass on him. I would have no problem with that.
Like, again, we drafted Kenny Pickett. Yeah. I would draft this guy's name before I would draft Kenny Pickett's ability.
Right. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? He probably has more skill in his in his DNA in his pinky than somebody like Kenny, who we drafted number one, our first pick.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Is it
I just
be,
don't think he's going to come out this year, though. That's what's going to suck.
Well, again, that's something we could do for the sake of the conversation.
Yeah.
And people are always going to say, and especially if he goes on and has a decent career or a great career.
Yeah.
People are always going to say, man, Dan Marino too, because we passed on him, but we drafted Kenny Pickett with our first pick. That's all I'm saying. This has potential to be a huge blunder for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And I would see someone like Omar Khan and Weedle like, hey, we have built the team. Now let's go get the guy.
Right. And I do want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I think they would be the ones to do it. Whereas if we still had Kevin Colbert, he'd be like the one, we're just sit and wait and see who falls to us.
I do want to say I seen a message go by, and I'm gonna get the message in 1 second. Keystone Ice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the guys were drinking. I don't know what they were drinking, but they did leave a bunch of beer cans and blunt wraps behind. But I do question. Believe me, when there's a room full of rappers, I don't ask many bad questions.
You have a great time with those guys.
You have a great time, and you don't question what they're doing.
Dude, remember when the dudes from Newcastle showed up?
Yes.
They had their own driver.
They had their own driver, and they didn't invite us. Those are the ones that didn't invite us to smoke with them. The Stickman Slick, he smoked with us.
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, guys, I got you.
Then the guys from Newcastle, they weren't sharing their shit. Man.
They weren't sharing, but it was just funny. Their driver was an old fat white guy.
Yeah, yes, he was.
I was like, is that security? Like, nah, man, he's just driving us.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what.
But those guys were funny too, man.
Oh, good times, everybody. Oh, and the whole library is on YouTube. You can always go back
and
check out all these episodes.
All the shenanigans we did.
Mike, I'm going to go right here where Vegas says is Jack Sawyer the third best Jack ever on the Steelers. Hey, you might just be.
Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. Not many other Jacks I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, so far, so good, right?
Yeah. Third by default.
Who is that, Laurinaitis? What is that? That's a
Laurinaitis. He was a linebacker. He was a white linebacker.
Out of Penn State?
Ohio State, I think.
Ohio. I knew he was a Big Ten white linebacker.
Yeah. We breed them, boys. We breed them.
Corey says, do you think we loaded up on outside linebackers with Herbig and Sawyer in case TJ didn't like our offer? I saw a video where someone suggested we trade TJ for Scary Terry. There's a three-part answer to this. There really is a three-part answer. I don't think they brought him in just in case TJ's offer didn't work. I think that these were two of the best people at their position at that part of the draft. And when you get a guy in that, second, third round, fourth, and he's the best person in the draft, like certain Peyton Wilson certainly was.
Yeah.
Steelers will always grab a guy like him. They'll make him a big thing. And everyone will say, wow, how does the Steelers always find these guys in the draft? Yeah. I think that they just they found some really good talent along the way. Two, they're going to fit in well if TJ does get injured, if there is an incident where he's, not able to play. But I think his contract gets taken care of real soon. Matter of fact, I think this one's going to be higher than Myles Garrett. Mark my word on that, guys. The biggest contract at that position ever. I think it's going to be coming sooner than later, guys. We have less than a month till Latrobe.
Yeah, and there was really no depth outside of Herbert for backup. So you get Jack Sawyer, someone who, showed that, when the bright lights were on, he stepped up. Now, hopefully he can carry that over into the pros. And he's a nice guy to be a backup and to develop into a potential starter when Watt's contract expires. And
the third part to that comment is this, Mike. Scary Terry. Right now, everybody wants Scary Terry. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. He wants mad money. He's. I would love. He's my number one. If I could pick somebody that I want right now, Scary Terry would be opposite side DK Metcalf, which isn't going to happen. I wish it would. Second part to that question is stupid New England. They keep throwing out all these scenarios. If we get TJ Watt, you ain't getting TJ Watt. Remember when your idiot Tom Brady jumped up in our end zone and spiked the ball in front of our fans and was just a dick? That's why you're not getting TJ Watt. So consider it paybacks, bitches. You ain't getting TJ.
I
wouldn't give New England him for nothing.
If we didn't go out and get Aaron Rodgers, I would have listened to any trade offer for TJ Watt. But now we got Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You definitely sign him and run.
Absolutely. I think he gets a record-breaking contract coming sooner than later, Mike. Again, we are just next month. Come on, we're going to be in camp here. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get a couple more of these messages on the board. Great, a lot of good messages today, man. As always, no two ways about it. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert were ferocious, and they were white. You're right. So the new Jack, he has a he's a type. He's a type.
He has some big shoes to fill.
Absolutely. Kevin Green's another one. Double O.
Yeah.
Near beer light. Yinzer Joe, no one really knows Manning is going to be, but because of his name, everyone thinks he's going to be elite. We should pump the brakes because he may not even. You're right. Absolutely. And again, this is just for the sake of right now. He may not come out, and it could be a non story whenever time comes. Yinzer Joe says he would keep an eye on Sellers, though, Mike.
Yeah, that's who I'm looking at. I think he might, if I almost said Eli Manning. If Arch doesn't come out, I think Lenoris might be QB1.
Okay. Let's see. Has he even played? That's the thing, Mark. I don't.
A little bit.
Very little.
Yeah, it was very minimal because Quinn Ewers was the starter.
But again, it's
coming for a handful
just for that
stats.
name. If we swing and miss, and he ends up going somewhere else and becoming great, that's what I'm talking about. That's going to be the pain of Dan Marino all over again, because the Super Bowls we could have won in the 80s if Dan Marino would have just been a Pittsburgh Steeler.
And it wouldn't surprise me if him and his family look to see, okay, the order of the NFL draft. Oh, do we want to go there? Do we want to go here?
Hey, you know what?
Go? Hey, go back to college, get some and more.
Here it is, Mike. If he doesn't if he doesn't enter the draft, then we go next year. Let's start Will Howard, and then we go maybe have a bad season. We'll grab the following year.
Yeah.
So who knows?
We'll just keep running Will Howard out there till we get Arch Manning.
We'll run Will Howard until we get what we want. The VT18, I think it is RB. Yes, RB. But man, he says I'm not sold on Arch. Dude needs to add 15 to 20 pounds at least. I mean, he might put it on. He's young. Absolutely. I mean, again, this is going to be one of the most talked about kids coming out of the draft. Does that equal success? No. But you look at a lot of things. Though. Look at there's a lot of things that go into this. No two ways about it. He's probably going to be smart. He's probably going to be a student of the game. You hope he is. You hope he has Peyton genes and not all Eli genes, right? Mark Corey says, Mark Malone, we know that Howard is our future, and we need to draft a wide receiver 2 next year. Yinzer Joe, not many was high on Bradshaw, but he was the highest QB ever drafted to win 4 Super Bowls. Matter of fact, he played behind the guy from Duck Dynasty. So, I mean, come on. This is let's see. RB says, the problem is Archie owns stake in the Saints. Saints legend, the family controls when Arch comes out. And that's the thing, though, too. But you know what? He was always a Saint guy, and these other guys never landed on the Saints, the Peytons and the Eli's. So I don't know. I mean, in a perfect world for them, maybe. But again, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Vegas says his dad is a road warrior.
Yeah, the Laurinaitis, the linebacker. I can't remember if he was Hawk or
Animal or Hawk. Yeah,
I can't remember.
Animal had the spider on his head. We need to add to the rotation too. Mark's saying. Yinzer Joe, if the Saints are going to tank, they should send Pittsburgh a yeah, right. At least give us I'll
give you a 5th round for Olave and his concussion woes. Let's go.
Mark Malone, those dudes were getting beat down last year. Watt hurt, Highsmith hurt, Herbig hurt. You know what? It should be in theory a little bit better though, because now we should have a better offense, and it's not going to be such a workload on those guys. Yeah. But yeah, why are the white guys always hurt? And Holcomb, my God, that guy's been hurt since the day he was born. Mrs. Holcomb, you have a beautiful baby boy, but he's already injured.
He's on the IR with a torn Achilles.
We're gonna take him from his swaddle and put him on some crutches. Let's see right here. My man RB says your story reminds me when I was a Tequila Willie's and a fight broke out. I got involved, and it turned out that one of the guys whose side I was on was Townsend, and Holmes and Essex was on it too. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Like, I'm on your side.
Townsend, remember him?
Deshae, you want to talk about an underrated cornerback? Deshae Townsend.
I couldn't agree more.
Key to a lot of victories, man.
Little dude, but he was key on a very good team too, man. So
he was one of my favorite Steelers from that era, just because when you needed a big play on defense, he would come up with it.
Ralph, my man, what's going on, brother? Always great seeing Ralph on the board. Fine gentleman. Vegas is 6'3", 240 pounds. Sellers versus 6'4", 215-pound Arch. Jeez, oh man, both of these guys are monsters, though. I mean, only 215, but again, he's still a kid.
Yeah, he can bulk up.
He hasn't got pro bulk yet, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Malone says, "Yeah, I think Howard has a real. I think he's
hard.
He's going to be a big part of what the next step is, whatever that means." Vegas Arch is way more athletic than I thought he would be. Ralph, yes, the Steelers would have 10 or more Super Bowls if Marino was the Steelers quarterback, and also Steelers would never be in another Super Bowl with mediocre Mike. Ralph follows it up by saying, rumor I heard is Bill Cowher buying ownership into the Steelers. Some of the minority ownership is pulling out because of Art II. Interesting. I did not hear that, but I know that Ralph does. Ralph does have a lot of scoop and information, so I will take that into consideration. Ralph, Vegas tore his ACL taking his first step. Yeah. Of course, Ralph. Absolutely, my man. Mike, let's bust into the second part of show and tell. Again, this is things that our guests left behind in the first season of the show, back when we all used to be in the same studio, all doing it together in one room. Let me grab Kenneth real quick, and then we will get to show and tell, guys. The white guys are always hurt because their insurance is damn it, that was good. I like that, Kenny. Guys, here we go. Mike, I have another thing from show and tell from past guests. I figured this would be fun. Today's the last day before vacation. This is like the last day of school, so it's all fun today.
What you got?
This right here. This was an early guest. Her name was the Berg Blonde. Now, she's an entertainer here in Pittsburgh. If you're not familiar with her, if you're from Pittsburgh and you haven't heard from her, go check her out, the Berg Blonde. Now, this particular book here, it's a Yinzer's Guide to Sex and Dating in the Steel City. And the woman that wrote it, April, she goes by the Berg Blonde. Matter of fact, she has some really cool stuff that she does in a few different areas, actually, on social media with videos. And then also she does help her husband, who's a director in movies. She does acting, things like this. But this book right here, guys, very, very entertaining. Again, Berg Blonde, a Yinzer's Guide to Dating and Sex in the Steel City. Great book. You were going to laugh your ass off. Check this out. Again, funny. This was something from season 1, Mike, when we had Berg Blonde on. She was very, very funny. And again, I support her still to this day. But this book, A Yinzer's Guide to Sex and Dating in the Steel City, hilarious. She's a hilarious person. She's funny, and she's talking about her experiences hooking up with guys, basically, through her career or through her life here in Pittsburgh. So this, Mike, the Berg Blonde book was also something else for show and tell. We got more. We do have more. So
everyone that comes in here fucked up.
Take that as you will, guys.
That was not her saying that, by the way.
No, that was not. That was a drunken mess, which you just heard.
Oh yeah.
Also from season 1.
Yes. I think Berg Blonde was season 2.
I don't know. Season 1.
Here. Season 1, season 2.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Let's see. Vegas says they hit a gun in your studio. You just haven't found it yet. Maybe. Vegas says, I wonder what entertainer means in Pittsburgh. I know what that means in Vegas. I don't know. I don't know what she does on her side. All I do know is that she is pretty. I like her. Again, check her out, Berg Blonde. Her name is April. She is on social media as well. A entertainer here in Pittsburgh. Really, really cool lady. I like her. Again, that book is pretty awesome. It's hilarious, actually. Yinzer Joe says, Howard won a national championship. Manning doesn't even know what real football is yet. He might have the size and weight, but he has to develop and show he can win a big game. Well, you know what? Another thing you could also say, though, is this. Well, Arch Manning was a pretty good quarterback back in his day, and Eli Manning at Ole Miss still hasn't even really played any games yet. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the name I'm buying into, because, again, at the end of the day, is Eli Payton? No, he's not. But, again, Eli Manning was the only person that could ever beat Tom Brady. Come on. I mean, so at the end of the day, I buy into the name. I buy into the name. And, again, it could be a non-story. It may not even be a story next spring when it does come. The draft does come here to Pittsburgh, but right now I'm buying the name. I'll have to continue to watch and see what goes on and how his career does play out down there. Let's see. Corey Ralph, if Todd Haley was our offensive coordinator, we'd be in a Super Bowl, no doubt. When he promised 30 points per game, you know what? That Todd Haley, he was a good offensive coordinator, guys, right? I like Todd Haley, man. And he was also another Pittsburgh guy. Let's see. I don't know if I would get into anything new. Well, you know what? I would do this while Mike is taking care of business. Guys, this is something interesting that I did come across. A lot of people always talk about the new GOAT. Who's the new GOAT in the NFL? You're right, Vegas. The defenses were amazing. They were, but he's always going to get credit because he was the quarterback, the only quarterback, with the exception of that weird Philadelphia team, that's going to have a lot of credit for being able to beat Tom Brady. Guys, but listen to this. The new GOAT, everybody always talks about the new GOAT. This guy is going to be what it is that Tom Brady was in the league. Guys, listen to the comparisons now from Patrick Mahomes to Baker Mayfield, a guy that I always thought was just a scrappy, good little quarterback that Cleveland really effed up by losing. Guys, the GOAT compared to Baker Mayfield, who I would have loved to have when he was roaming and before he went to Carolina, before he went to Tampa Bay. These are the comparisons over the last 2 seasons between Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. Guys, passing yards, Baker Mayfield, 8,544 in the past 2 seasons, 8,500. Patrick Mahomes, 8,111. So over 400 yards better than Patrick Mahomes over the past 2 seasons. Passing touchdowns, Baker Mayfield, 69 passing touchdowns in the past 2 seasons. Patrick Mahomes, 53, 69 to 53. Completion percentage, not by much, but Baker Mayfield, 67.9 compared to Patrick Mahomes' 67.3. Slightly better. Interceptions thrown by both of these gentlemen in that period of time, 2 seasons, 26 by Baker and 25 by Mahomes, just slightly better by Mahomes. And finally, passer rating between these two quarterbacks, the GOAT, the new GOAT. People are saying, I hear this, when you get a quarterback like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, so he's already been he's been in the Super Bowl like 20 years in a row, it seems like. So comparison-wise, passer rating, Baker Mayfield, 100.7 in the past 2 seasons. Patrick Mahomes, 93. So at the end of the day, when we were on the show saying, Mike, I would love to have Baker Mayfield, Cleveland effed this up big time. They finally got a guy. They effed it up. Now look at him.
Yeah.
And Mike, this guy is, as I said, the GOAT. Patrick Mahomes, this guy is the GOAT of now. He's been to 10 Super Bowls in a row. Baker Mayfield outperformed him pretty largely in most part these past 2 seasons, Mike. Is that another one that we should be pulling our hair out saying, why the hell didn't we somehow pull Baker Mayfield?
Yeah,
Panther, and nobody
there's probably like 20 some odd teams in the league are going, my God, man, we missed the boat on that reclamation project right there. Like, good for him, though. I was always a Baker Mayfield fan. I thought he was going to be a good quarterback. Cleveland did do him dirty. And you can see you put some good weapons around him. Give him Mike Evans and, a Chris Godwin. You can see what he can do. You saw what he was starting to do in Cleveland when he had OBJ, that good running game. You get guys around him, and he can actually run the offense the way he needs to.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. And you can see, like Mahomes' numbers are coming down because they're changing the offense in there as they're losing their star players. But, Baker Mayfield's a damn good quarterback. We saw it like when he got traded from the Carolina Panthers, went out to LA and had like 2 days to prepare and went out and played one of the best games of his life on, I think it was that Thursday night game where he lit up whoever it was. Didn't even know the guys' names, barely knew the plays. The dude can play. And Baker Mayfield is a very, very underrated quarterback.
I mean, come on now. Looking back in hindsight, but we were saying it when it was happening. We would love to have him. But looking back in hindsight, we might be in a little bit better of a position.
Yeah.
Had we done that. Let me get into some more messages. Vegas says, "Good old swinger Todd and his wife." Yes, Todd. People like Todd.
Haley,
he's no Matt Canada, but
getting in fights with fans down at the.
That's what you do when you're from the Berg, baby. Let's see what else. Yinzer Joe, Eli would be nothing if the receiver didn't match. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Those two receivers saved the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Vegas is saying Eli with his 500 career record, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think that unfortunately, because he won 2 championships and they were both against Tom Brady, I think this will be enough to get him in. His performance as career wise, is it a Hall of Fame performance? No, it's not.
No.
But the fact that he got in and beat Tom Brady twice, won in an undefeated season, 18-0 of Tom Brady team, I think, unfortunately, that's going to be enough to get him in.
Yeah. And you look at like Terry Bradshaw's numbers, you look at his regular season numbers.
That's true.
Not that good. Yeah, he had that 1 league MVP, I believe.
Mike, he has as many interceptions as he had touchdowns in his career.
Yeah. But you look at his postseason play, winning 4 Super Bowls. That's like when rings start.
And these people made Bradshaw great. It was the catch that Swan made, and it was the immaculate reception that got he moved advanced him in the playoff. So again, I think for those kind of reasons is why Eli lands in Tampa.
I think he gets in.
Because, again, Terry Bradshaw's numbers aren't the greatest. He had as many interceptions as he had touchdowns, but he got them Super Bowl wins. I think this is where Eli gets into Canton.
Yeah. I don't think he's a first ballot. Second, third.
No.
Should be appropriate at least.
Ben Roethlisberger is a first ballot.
Yeah. Easily.
Out of that same draft. And I think eventually Phillip Rivers has the numbers. He didn't have the championships, but he had the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take away from the fact that, there's a lot of great quarterbacks that never won a Super Bowl, and it's not their fault. It's the team around them.
Look at Dan Marino.
Yeah,
He should have been winning Super Bowls.
He was the greatest passer when he retired.
He truly was.
And
his mistake was he stayed in that damn team for his whole career. That's the biggest mistake Dan Marino made, was staying in Miami. They gave him weapons at one point with the Mark Duper and Mark Clayton, the Marx brothers, but it was just never a great team.
No.
I don't know. Right here, I'm going to go and see Vegas. He says, I wonder what the odds on Shedeur winning the starting job for the Clowns are. I think they're going to eventually, just because. I mean, they're just this is what they do. They start everybody else. I mean, look at the number of names on the back of that one jersey. I mean, it's bound to happen. They're at some point going to say, "Oh, this is a good idea. Let's start this guy now." But it's the Browns. You know how it's going to play out. Yinzer Joe, I think teams were worried about Baker's injuries. He said he played hurt all season, but that's the kind of guy I like. That's the kind of guy that's going to be a good stealer. He's going to win the fans over by that kind of stuff. Like when Ben had his nose broken against the Ravens, and he went to the sideline and they broke it back into place, and he went back out there and won a game with toilet paper sticking out of his nose. So these are the kind of guys that ultimately Pittsburgh love, and I think Baker could have certainly fit in there because he's scrappy. He's he's kind of a scrappy dude, and I think Pittsburgh would love that. 007 getting rid of Baker over Deshaun Watson, right? Insane. At the time, you wouldn't, people would have said Deshaun Watson's going to have a good career, though. I mean, who's seen this playing out for Deshaun when he was in Houston? Not me.
Yeah, like he took the Houston Texans to the playoffs once or twice. Had some good numbers, but I thought he was a good quarterback, but not worth blowing up your franchise for.
I mean, the guy is in the All-Pro game. The guy is improving this Houston franchise. So at that point, I thought you got young talent, but obviously things didn't work out for him. Right here, we're going to go to Vegas. Vegas says, I've heard of getting a kink massaged out of your back, but never all your talent. He follows it up by saying Jim Plunkett still isn't in with 2 rings. That's true. That's kind of wild too. I would expect Jim Plunkett to be in. Corey, unpopular opinion as a lifelong Tomlin supporter, but if he F's up this team and doesn't win at least one playoff game this year, he needs to go. Patience has already run thin with him. And I think that's becoming the common thought in Pittsburgh. We want to win. Come on, going a decade without winning a playoff game it's weird here. We've never went this period of time without winning a playoff game as a Pittsburgh Steelers team since the franchise team took over, the big teams in 1970 and on. Before that, who knows what the hell they were doing, but nobody cares because it was before Super Bowl era, so it doesn't count. Take that, Cleveland. Corey also says, well, maybe not unpopular, but unpopular of me because I always made excuses for him. Vegas, if Phillip was drafted by the Steelers, would he have been number 3, or is that too perfect?
Mm-hmm. Or your Rivers. Took me a second to get that one.
I like it.
Took me a second. I was stewing on that one for like a good 2 minutes. Like, what's he getting at? What's he getting at?
Number 4, right? No flag on the play. Vegas.
The Halati Nada one. Boom, breaking Ben's nose.
That's right. Remember that? They just snapped it right back over like it was nothing. He went back out there and won the game. Vegas, that's some real Space Jam shit. Guys, who's ready for another round? Another round of show and tell. Show and tell, guys. This is from things that we collected and has been left behind and other objects from guests of the past when we were doing the show. Everybody in the studio before COVID kind of came in and just changed the world in a sense. Mike, this one we have already had on the show briefly, but these two fine these two fine specimens right here, guys. These 2 paintbrushes, a Valentine's Day show, I think first or second season, we did have an OnlyFans model come into the show, and Mike and I both painted red hearts on her nipples. She took her shirt off, and Mike and I both stood there in front of her. It was like some kind of weirdo porn, I got to be honest with you.
Right?
There she is. She's standing there naked. Mike's on one side of her. I'm on the other side, and we have these 2 paintbrushes that we still have till this very day. And we both took the time and painted little, big, actually, red hearts over her nipples. So, guys, just another thing for show and tell today. A lot of fun, guys, from early seasons. I did want to do this because, again, this is like the last day of school, and why not, right?
Why not?
Let's get back into some messages. Vegas is funny how the quarterback has a ref specifically looking at him, yet they still miss. Ain't that crazy how they still miss Ben calls on Ben? And as big as he is, come on, you can't miss this guy.
Dude, in that era, it was free reign on Big Ben and Cam Newton. Because the refs would say, well, you're big guys. You can handle it.
Right. F you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Let's see what else we want to get into today. I do want to talk about this, guys. You know the NFL draft countdown clock that's downtown? Guys, get this. All right, so on the sides, if you've seen this thing, it's a big yellow structure, and then on top it has a clock. It almost looks like a mini tiny Big Ben in a way, and it has the amount of days that we are waiting until the draft comes here in Pittsburgh. Well, in the side, in the yellow pieces, somebody took off. They have high school team names: Central Valley, Aliquippa, Hopewell, and they're small pieces. Well, somebody stole one of the pieces already, Mike. I think Chartiers Valley, perhaps. I have it in my notes if I could just pull it up here real quick. But somebody already stole one of the names of the teams that's presented. And again, it's all local. It's all of our local teams, Western Pennsylvania, all Whippeal teams. Mike, they stole. Here it is. I pulled it up right here. Let's see. All right. And you know what? And in the note, it actually says convenient. This clock is conveniently located across the street from the bar that Todd Haley beat up his wife, which I didn't know.
That is great.
But to be in the notes, I think that's pretty funny.
That is
all right, guys.
So Pittsburgh.
It does have a design flaw. There are discs on both sides that highlight Pittsburgh neighborhoods and high school football teams. The discs are screwed in. A week ago, Chartiers Valley's disc was gone. The designer didn't think that drunk fans, collectors, and rival schools would unscrew the discs. But just interesting, Mike, I'm looking at the picture. Chartiers Valley, Cannon McMillan, California, Bethel Park, all of our schools, Burrell. But somebody did steal, which is crazy. Again, it's just something that you could unscrew. People are nuts. Why wouldn't you expect somebody to come and take something, right?
Exactly.
That's the world we live in now.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially like you said, like a rival trying to take
right.
it. Or even someone from the school, like, hey, freshman, you got to go get that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, people stole, animals, mascots.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'd steal whatever you can. Dude, when we were young, man, whatever we can get our little hands on that are out in the public and no one's around, we're grabbing. You know any traffic cones and traffic barrels and lights that were stolen from our neighborhood?
Absolutely, man.
You're young, you're dumb, you're going to do it.
This one kid in my neighborhood, he stole everybody's lawn ornaments one day and put them in my front yard. My dad come home from work, and I had no clue this happened. It was summertime, and I remember he come walking. He's like, "What the fuck is all that shit in my front yard?" And it was everybody in the neighborhood's lawn ornaments, and they were all in my like. What a dick, man!
That's some good fun right there.
This same dude was he was putting like condoms filled with snow in my mailbox, and it was always something. He was an older kid, and always something. Let's see what else, guys. July 1st, July 1, if you're interested, they have the new 50-year Terrible Towel. The new commemorative 50-year Terrible Towel. Mike, there's only like 5,000 of the official ones made.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in high demand. Of course, the Terrible Towel is 50 years old this year, 1975. Meyer and Cope, you guys remember all that. Even if you don't, you've heard about it. The 50-year Terrible Towel, the commemorative one, Mike, is going to be out and available on July 1st. Only about 5,000 made in its entirety. So if you're into collecting Steeler stuff, maybe get in and get a pre-order on that because they will be coming out just next week.
Yeah. Be sure to head down to the North Shore because I think you can get all the knockoffs you need for the 50th.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm going to get mine, baby.
Go down to the Strip District. You'll get 15 different kind of 50-year Terrible towels, but none of them will be the official one. What else? What else do we got here? Before I get into the Mike, we're going to talk about the biggest. We're going to talk about if the Steelers are off-season winners or losers. But let me get a couple of these messages in, and then I'll knock out the final round. The final round of show and tell. We had a lot more. I've just had a hard time locating everything from the from the past from shows. So, but we're gonna show you what we do have. So let's get a couple of these messages, Mike, and then we're going to do the show and tell one last time, and then we're going to talk about whether we think the Steelers are off-season winners or losers. So keep that in mind. Let's go right about here. Okay. Vegas says the OnlyFans lady left something in the studio. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Maybe we'll do that again someday. Stuck on sucks. What's up? Great seeing you on the board. My bad for the hesitation. I was just trying to make sure I pronounced the name that you have up there correctly. Stuck on sucks says better late than never. Happy Friday, fam. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Shut up. You know what I mean. Happy Friday. Listen. Here's our contract right here. If we F up or say something that's dumb, it's in our name. So
right there.
Do what you will. But no, great talking to you. Great seeing you on the board. Stuck on sucks, and happy Friday to you as well. Vegas says they're going to take the entire clock next week when you're. You know what?
They might.
And we'll be hot on the trail, Mike. We'll take the week and we'll track down the culprits. Vegas follows that up by saying, "You sure that was a snow and not a frozen splooge?"
in that condom left in your mailbox.
Oh my God, it was full. I mean, there may have been frozen splooge in there, but the condom was like this big. I mean, you could really yank it out of there. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Steeler Free? My man John says I'll buy Mike a 50-year terrible towel if he will wear it as a loincloth. Mike, so I'm thinking the loincloth, terrible towel loincloth, and the clip-on scarlet is going to be something that's going to be in demand once we come back from vacation. And I, like the people on the board, I want to see this. And we're going to be angry if we don't, right, guys? Last thing, Mike, but certainly not least. We did show some beer cans earlier in the show, some things that were left behind by the rappers that were on. We showed the Berg Blonde's book, which was great from early on. Also, some blunt wraps for John out in Vegas. Doing some show and tell, John, some things that were left behind in the studio in our earlier seasons when we did everything in studio. This one here, guys. This one, Mike, the clip that Mike keeps playing, that girl. Do it. Hit the clip, Mike. Okay. And turn it up so people can hear it.
You do this to everyone that comes in here? Fucked up.
You do this to everyone that comes in here? That's fucked up. I don't know what her problem is. She was loaded when she came here with Kendra. Kendra, she brought so much alcohol to the show. It was unbelievable, to be honest with you. But my gift right here, I don't know if you remember
The
this.
bootlegger.
Johnny Bootlegger was something that she did leave behind.
Dude, the peach one, because she had like 4 of those she pulled out of her purse.
Yeah.
And she was just passing them around like they were candy.
And that was yes. And that was the ones that came from her purse. She had bags of alcohol as well.
Yeah.
We need, she ended up walking home from the studio. Believe me, it's not a close walk from where she came from. She was so pissed off at us. She ended up walking.
Well, I think as though like you were the one asking all the questions. I'm just asking follow-ups. And she got mad at me. She got mad at me. Accused me of asking all the hard-hitting questions. Like,
she was a train wreck, man.
I'm just sitting over here living my best life.
And we also learned that she pleasured herself with a electronic toothbrush as well. Again, neither here nor there, but something to connect with the final object from the show and tell, guys. Vegas says she sounds like she chews cigarettes. She was 17. Exactly. And you know what the thing is? When I first initially known her, no, this is from a job that I had prior. She was hot. She was hot. Like she was the smoking chick in the group. And then once she came on a few years later, because again we started the show, and anyway, she blew up a little bit, and she didn't look as great, believe me, as she initially did, but she left quite a few things behind, and this certainly was one of them. Mike, I'll keep looking. Again, there's a lot of things that we did that was left behind that I'd really like to show on the show, but those were the things today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show and tell part of this show before we do go on vacation today. But Mike, let's get back into some of these messages, and then I do want to talk about the Steelers offseason, whether the people on the board and whether people think that we were winners or losers, or we basically drew about the same. So let's get a couple of these messages in, then we will get into that, guys. Let's go right here. Yinzer Joe says, "Oh my God, Mike, I'm so turned on by Steeler Freaks offer." The more it's talked about, hey guys, keep it up, believe me, because the more attention that it draws, it'll be like a snowball that continues to grow, guys. So if you think that these ideas are funny and you want to see Mike in a loincloth and a scarlet, which I can't imagine anybody would, but I got to tell you, this is a special crew. We got a special group we got here, and I'll have just as much fun with you guys. So I want to see it. I want to see Mike in the loincloth and the scarlet, which okay.
I'm flattered, Yinzer Joe. I'm flattered, but no.
Mike, maybe the pasties. Maybe somebody suggests pasties. This could go along well with the scarlet and the loincloth. So, guys, keep the ideas coming.
You give me some pasties that I can twirl that have like some tassels on the end. Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah. So keep the ideas coming. I'm down. Whatever you guys think we're gonna do, so that that's how important you people are to me.
I'll paint the Steeler logo on my fat gut, and hell yeah, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bridge too far. Okay.
Let's see. Vegas says it's always the second guy. Does she blew up a little bit? Yeah.
She was coming up to my weight class.
She's a bartender, and sometimes she falls subject to her what's the word I'm looking for? Her vice.
Yeah.
So she got more into partying as time went on, and she just didn't look as good. And of course, you could tell by her voice. I think you could tell.
Episode 6, everyone. Episode 6.
Oh, that's right. Episode 666 is actually what we did name it back then.
Drunk girl train wreck interview.
Something to maybe check out over the vacation, guys. Episode 6, drunk. What was it, Mike? Drunk girl was a train wreck.
Yeah, train wreck interview.
So yeah, you can
drunk
check
girl
that out.
interview, train wreck.
Also, let me get back to the board, Mike. Steeler Freak says when men get old, they look like Sean Connery. When women get old, they look like Sean Connery.
That's a good one.
You've been to Pittsburgh, haven't you, John? Of course, out in Vegas, they have a lot of hot chicks. We have a lot of chicks that look like Sean Connery, unfortunately.
Sean Connery.
Vegas, when they hit the wall, that's it. And alcoholic weight is what it was. It really was, because she was hot, man. I was trying to get on that. And then the next time I seen her, she looked like she did when she came to the show. So that was enough for me. So we just humiliated her a little bit.
I didn't. I was polite, respectful.
She hated you.
All right.
Finally, guys, we're going to get into this before we do start to wrap things up for the week for vacation, guys. I want to know everybody's opinion. For the Steelers, to you, were they winners? Were they losers? Did they fall right around the same for you as far as offseason goes, guys? I personally think they're winners. I personally think that we didn't know who. Listen, there's more that could be done, and I hope it is done because we need a wide receiver too. But with that being said, everything else we did was pretty nice, Mike. We had a nice draft,
Yeah.
nice young talent. We got a quarterback here that again it should certainly be more productive than what we had. Guys that were injured or got healthy, so there's a lot of positives in. I think we were winners. I think overall the Pittsburgh Steelers were winners in this offseason, Mike.
I do too. You would like to address every single need that you can, get a starter everywhere. Hopefully they do. I think they're winners, but I think they can be big time winners if they land another receiver.
Oh,
but if they're putting,
they could be National Honor Society if they could land a Scary Terry. I mean,
if you want to put your faith in Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, and that's your plan, okay, stick to your plan. I might not agree with it, but that's your plan. Okay, whatever. But other than that, I think they were winners, man. They filled a lot of needs.
I agree. And there was a lot of needs. Remember, Mike, going into the draft, we said they need defensive line. They need this. They need that. We had a list of things, and
they checked it off, man.
And they did check it off. Again, we are still waiting on Brandon Ayuk from last season. I mean, come on. We might as well be waiting on him. We waited on him so long last year.
Exactly.
And we're still waiting on a number 2 receiver. Sometimes I just tell people we're still waiting on Ayuk. But here we are, guys. 1 year later, this is kind of maybe where I think we might have dropped the ball because George Pickens and DK was looking really good. I think people were getting really excited about that. And then George Pickens, of course, did what he did. He ends up going to Dallas. And that kind of puts us in the same position that we were in last year. I will say this is an A-plus National Honor Society offseason. If sometime between now and kickoff in September, they bring in a legit number 2 receiver. Listen, Roman Wilson could have the best. The fact of the matter is he's barely played anything. Even if he does play well, I don't want to depend I have my whole season depending on a pass to a guy that hasn't played really yet.
Yeah.
I want him to get better. I want him to be a guy of the future. But right now, like I said, this is kind of an all-in situation. You got Brett Favre. You got Aaron Rodgers. And if there is a chance of a riding off in the sunset season, if there is a chance of maybe, again, Vegas, I don't know what they're involved with, but the way games kind of seem weird lately, maybe they like they make money with the Rodgers mobile and the finale tour here. So again, this is kind of an all-in for me at this point. I want to get a number 2 receiver because I don't want to be in a position where I'm thinking if we would have just had a number 2 receiver, we could have won that game in the playoffs that we lost by a couple, 5 points. When if this dude would have just caught the ball down the sideline and made the play, that didn't happen. Again, best case scenario, Scary Terry. Amari Cooper, kind of my other guy on my wish list. But some of these other names I've heard, Mike, that would be an improvement over what we have, I would be all aboard. Again, this is an all hands in kind of season for me, Mike. And I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But now I'm in too. I'm all in here.
Me too. And I think the original plan was DK and George Pickens for the year. Let George walk at the end of the year, but him causing problems behind the scenes afterwards kind of screwed up their plans a little bit.
Absolutely.
And, so
things are looking really good with George Pickens and DK. I thought, man,
you're like awesome. You're sitting good.
We're gonna see things that we haven't seen in this city in years.
Yeah.
Just Steeler Freak says usually women's asses are like the universe and are constantly expanding. Yeah, unfortunately. It's like people, when you tell you, he's like, I don't know. I like to check out chicks that are hot and young, and they look at you weird. They're like, oh, that's weird. No, it's not weird. Every chick my age they're disgusting. Vegas says, I'd say winner. It would be nice to get another cornerback, wide receiver, and swing tackle. I agree. Cornerback. I want my wide receiver first and foremost.
Yeah.
Only because we've been waiting for one for so long.
Yeah.
2, I want a corner. And again, the corner's not a dire thing for me, but I would sure like to have one of these big names. Jalen Ramsey. It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Sure as hell couldn't hurt. Steeler Freak says Vegas agrees. Swing tackle is really big. It is hard for 5 linemen. Absolutely. It's very rare for 5 linemen to be able to stay healthy all season. Vegas says, I still can't believe DeCastro took Pouncey out like that. I say it's a winner, Mike. I say they're winners. I think they could be even bigger winners. But as of right now, they are winners.
I do too. I think they you can't get everything.
Right.
That's why we're gonna have. That's why we're gonna have 75.
Make a song like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have 75 tight ends, baby. I just had to bring that up. I got to get you fired up.
I hate them tight ends.
I got to get you fired up.
I hate that tight end room. I like the couple tight ends that we have, but I hate the idea of what they're doing. I've never seen it. I've never seen it with the things that you actually do want and need. The fact they just keep pulling more tight ends drives me crazy. But hey, maybe it'll work out in our advantage, and maybe the tight end will be the one that saves the day in a nice playoff run and get us that extra game. That would be fantastic. Steelers Freak says the one section that controls the team's success is the offensive line. And I mean, that's how we've been drafting. No two ways about it. We've been drafting like with that in mind. And I know that Weedle and Kahn and these guys, they have the same philosophy. And it's time to see if these guys are ready to mature. A couple of them already started. A couple of them are still a little bit behind. But Mike, again, if that plays out well, that's just another thing that's going to help us have a good season.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is hard to win when you don't control the line. Absolutely. Look what Philadelphia's doing. That's all I could say. Look what Philadelphia is doing and what they've done over the past 7 years, give or take. That's the way it's meant to be done. And that's why they're so successful. Mike, let me just make sure I ain't got nothing else. Why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinjers.com. Check it out, everyone. It'll be active while we're on vacation. I'll have time to write some stuff and put it over there so the dumb thoughts will be flowing. So check it out at the2dumbyinjers.com. And remember, you always have to listen.
And don't forget also next week, you may also maybe at some point see Finch and the Gooners pop up. I do know that he's on vacation this week from work, so him and his wife are doing some things. But next week, I wouldn't be surprised if him and the guys hop on maybe at random times, certainly on their Friday time slot, maybe even during the day. I don't know. So if you do see the show pop up on your YouTube, that might be what it is. But we will be back on July 7th, the following Monday. Mike, the question of the day is a Pittsburgh sports question. Pittsburgh sports question. Put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. This is a Pittsburgh sports question. Here we go. With the draft expected to draw massive numbers, which Pittsburgh team currently holds the record for the most attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history? With the draft expected to draw massive numbers, which Pittsburgh team currently holds the record for most attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. Question of the day. With the draft expected to draw massive numbers, which Pittsburgh team currently holds the record for the most attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history? Mike, do you have any thoughts on this?
Now, are we counting victory parades?
Listen, I didn't split the atom to come up with this. I just thought of it and came up and looked it up, and I don't know. It's not $1 million on the line. Just answer it if you know it. If you don't, you don't. Mike has lawyers involved here.
Well, no, because I can say like the Penguins victory parade was packed.
It wasn't one of the parades.
Okay, that's what. Because that's like came to mind.
The answer. I mean, it may be.
Oh God. Yeah. So, can't be the Penguins. That arena's too small, even with the outside people watching on the arena on the games. It's got to be between the Buccos and the Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Got to be one of the playoff games against the Braves.
All right, is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let me lock you in. I'm gonna lock you in on the Pirates.
Good call, RB.
RB says the RB says the Pens Winter Classic. At Beaver, let's see what else. Vegas, watch it be the Pittsburgh track team at a marathon or some stupid crap.
Exactly. That's why you got to get specifics out of Ryan.
Vegas also says, I hope Brojo plays well for the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I like
it. Only helps our cause if he does, you know.
Yeah.
Question of the day: with the draft expected to draw massive numbers, which Pittsburgh team currently holds the record for the most attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history? I'm seeing some Winter Classic. I'm seeing the Pirates World Series teams. Yinzer Joe saying the Backyard Brawl versus West Virginia.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right, guys. So question of the day. Here you go. Here is the answer. With the draft expected to draw massive numbers in Pittsburgh next spring, which Pittsburgh team currently holds the record for the most attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history? Mike said the Pirates. I'm seeing some Pitt Panthers. I'm seeing some Pittsburgh Penguins. Guys, the answer was in 2022. The game between the Pitt Panthers and West Virginia in the Backyard Brawl. That was the largest sporting event attended in Pittsburgh history. The Pitt Panthers, West Virginia, 2022. Mike, was that that wasn't MJ Devonshire's interception, was it? That might have been.
Well, against who? Pitt versus
West Virginia.
It might have been, yeah, because he had the back-to-back against Virginia, I think the week before, then he had that one.
Yeah, so I think that might be it, Mike. MJ Devonshire's interception game where they win the game. That is the highest attended sporting event in Pittsburgh history, 2022. Mike, 70,622 people at Acrisure Stadium.
Wow.
Passed, Mike, in 2016, the Pitt-Penn State game.
Yeah.
It ended up being 69,983 people for that, Mike. So there you go. The two biggest sporting events ever in Pittsburgh history, the Pitt Panthers. Most recent against West Virginia. And just prior to that, Mike, just edging it out. Again, Penn State game, 69,983. WVU, 70,622.
Yeah. I remember both those games, too.
Oh, big games. Oh, both were huge. They were both huge games. So yes, Yinzer Joe, you nailed that one right, my friend. It was the Pitt Panthers. Vegas is disappointed. He's disappointed with the answer, and John wasn't quite sure, guys. But we are heading into vacation. It has that last day of school for us. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves today. We did try to do a few extra small things. Again, we come back on July 7. We will be starting the new Dumb Yinzer campaign, where we're going to be bringing somebody who watches, listens, or likes the show to be right here a new Dumb Yinzer. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of ideas on how we're going to do this. So again, if you have interest and you want to submit your name early, you can always send it to our email. It's 2dumbYinzers at gmail.com, and that's TWO for the email. TWO, dumb, D-U-M, Yinzers at Gmail. Or if you'd like to wait till we get back and start the campaign, you could do so as well. But more the merrier. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going to be a blast. So if you're interested, listen, we're not exactly running a tight ship here as far as what your availability is. It is what it is. And like Finch, like Derpy, Brian in the past, guys, we're looking to expand a little bit and add another wheel, maybe two wheels. I don't know, Mike. Let's see how this thing plays out, guys. So again, that will be coming up just after we come back from vacation, guys, on July 7. July 7, we will be back at our regular time right here. No big changes. We're not going to go to different channels, different times, nothing like that. 9 days. We hope to see everybody right back here to kick it off. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rotating guests. Sorry, excuse me. Let me get my volume real quick because I do have to call.
Oh, God, Ryan, stop talking. The best part of the show.
John says, what about rotating guests? Then decide. Listen, we do have some ideas. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some ideas, and we'll get again more into that because we're not done crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So we're going to continue to work. But come July 7, we are going to kick that off. I just wanted to let everybody know Vegas has 2 Dumb Yinzers and a possible like Spades. It's Joe saying, "Damn." I do want to say, everybody. I do want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking us out, coming to hang out with us today, all the time, not just today, but all the time. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. We really honestly do. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always make it make this an interesting show. Thank you. You are as big as you are as big a part of this as we are. Believe me, we have this discussion many times, and we appreciate you more than ever. Believe me. Thank you. And everybody at home as well. Thank you. If you're listening, watching, or even if you're watching this in the future, maybe we'll be dead someday when this video comes across your eyes and you do check it out. Then we thank you then as well. Let's hope that that's no time soon. But with this heat, you just never know, Mike. You just never know. Anything do you have before we do wrap this up for a week, man? 9 days is going to be total.
Yeah.
We'll be back again, not Monday, but the following Monday. Anything before we do roll for the week?
My Penn State Nittany Lions were one of, I think it was like a handful of schools that had a player drafted in the first round of the NFL draft and the NBA draft. We had a first player selected from Penn State in the first round of the NBA draft last night. So well done, Nittany Lions. Who would have thought Penn State would have got a guy in the NBA?
Never heard of her. No, that's really cool. Good for them, I guess. John says Jeopardy. What is I am too stoned to answer for number 1,000?
Hey,
$1,000. I'm sorry,
dude. We can get Aaron Rodgers to host the Jeopardy episode. He has experience.
He does have experience.
Yes.
Or you could get Blossom. Remember, you had that crush on Blossom.
I never had the crush on Blossom.
Thank you, Vegas, man. Hopefully, time goes great for you as well, sir. I don't want to forget anything, guys. The Pittsburgh Pirates do start a series with the Mets this weekend down at the arena, or at the stadium. Get down, check them out. The Mets are in town again. The Pittsburgh Passion, their playoff game tomorrow, Mike, against the Mile High Blaze. That's at West Allegheny High School at 6:00 p.m. Both of our football teams, our other football teams, it's not really football. At least here in Pittsburgh, our soccer teams, the Hounds, they do play at home tomorrow against Westchester at 7:00. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Riveters, the Gals, they host Steel City. This is the last home game of the season for them. That is at 7:00 p.m. tonight. A lot of this stuff, as far as the women's football, that will be on YouTube. You can always check out the Pittsburgh Passion on game day, which I do every week. I love watching the ladies play Pittsburgh because they play like women nowhere else. Believe me, these women in Pittsburgh, they'll hit you and they don't look like girls. Believe me, it's a lot of fun. I love watching the Passion, and and of course the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think maybe we might get TJ with his contract sometime in the next 9 days. We might not, but we will certainly be keeping an eye on that and everything else leading up to the season. Which Latrobe, guys, the team starts reporting to Latrobe on the 23rd, less than a month away, July 23rd. Then camp starts the 24th, and then beyond that, you know what it is, guys. A couple weeks of camp, preseason, regular season. It's all coming at you. We're going to get a little bit of a break in, Mike and I, to recharge, if you will, to get ready for the big football season. Lots of big things coming up, of course. When we do come back, we do have the 4-year anniversary also while we're out. Mike, I do want to say happy 4-year anniversary to you as well, just in case I don't see you in the meantime. But again, everybody, thank you so much for all your support. You guys are fucking wonderful, amazing, man. You really are. We really, truly love every single one of you. Every single one of you. Can't wait to come back to see everybody. I'm trying. Oh, one more thing I do want to say, Mike. Elon Musk has $412 billion. He's the richest person in the world. He's the only person in the $400 billion club. He's projected to become the first trillionaire by 2027.
Ridiculous.
Wow. And the only reason I brought this up because I seen the what he does have is 412 Pittsburgh, of course. And that's the only reason I wrote it. But Mike, as I read it more, I thought, fuck. The first trillionaire ever. They're expecting by 2027. So there you go, guys.
That's wild.
Trillionaire. Fuck. I do believe that is everything, though, guys. Thank you so much. I already can't wait to come back. It's like the last day of school. You know, you're already
like I said, Wednesday, I'll be itching to come on air.
Thank you, Yinzer Joe, my man. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, John. You guys are all awesome. We truly do. We truly do mean that. And again, anybody in the meantime who wants to submit early for the new Dumb Yinzer competition that is coming up after vacation, do so to WYinzers@gmail.com, and as with TWOYINZERS. So, guys, I think with that being said, it's time to start vacation. Thank you. You're amazing. We can't wait to come back and do it all over again, everybody. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, hit the like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. You can always check our social media out to keep up on everything. We're available everywhere on all social media. Keep up on things. But again, guys, we will be back on July 7, Monday, regular time, right here on YouTube. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the two dumb Yinzers, have a great week. Have a safe 4th of July holiday.